Like, we're like ready, like gung-ho, like, let's put up this shed and we're gonna like, it's gonna be great.
Feels like a small little thing. This will be fun. Yeah.
And he started building the shed, and I'm like posting on Facebook and doing all these things like, grand opening, this is the date that we're opening. And we were so excited, and we don't have a phone number or anything, a website or anything yet. And my mother-in-law gets a call from the city, and she's like, you guys aren't opening.
Hey, welcome to Voices on the Wind. I am Toby Lyles and
Maverick Lyles.
Yeah. This is a podcast about catching those ideas that whisk by our heads and turning them into what they are, something significant. And that is a challenge for many people. And I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to start this podcast, is because it's difficult to, at times, to take an idea that you hear, treat it as with respect, like it's something worth following, and then how do you pursue it after that? So we're following the stories of people who have done just that. And if you are not connected on our email list, that is where we will tell you tips on how to do just that, stuff I'm learning in the interviews. We cut the interviews down, and so not everything gets out, not all the gems, but really I'm just learning as I go through the process, and I want to share those learnings with you. And we'll let you know when the next podcast is out. So it should be fun. Make sure you jump on that if you're not already. VOTW.substack.com.
Yep, we got that. And so today we got Cody and Samantha, which was definitely one of the best episodes, for sure. They just, and then how to even explain it? They really just, and then they owned it. They owned their business. They were like, I want to do something. And then they did it. And they were like, they go through a lot of struggles. They go through a lot of struggles just in their relationship a little bit, but they in the way that they were making sure to keep it first. So they struggled to make sure that they wouldn't separate from each other. I thought that was really cool. Along with and then keeping the family, but also just like going and be like, we're going to make a business, and then they open tons of stores. I mean, like a lot of stores, and they have just the most amazing peaches ever. And so good. So that's for today. And you'll just their struggle with the government and with everything, and they still go through it. It's a cool episode. So here we go with Cody and Samantha Davis.
You grew up selling peaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even through my younger adult, I would drive my Jeep, go pick up boxes of peaches from my folks and go down the corner and sell them. And it's just kind of always what we did for extra money and everything. And then being up here, I was away from all of that. So, my wife and I talked, and that's when we decided to kick off some stores here. Yeah.
I remember when we met, he had told me like that was like his dream was to be a farmer again, to kind of go down that route again. But I remember he tried doing a little garden here, and it just wasn't the same as like being able to grow produce over there. And he was just like, what is going on? And it was kind of like, okay, well, I think the closest thing that we can get you to your childhood basically is like to bring it this way, bring the fresh produce, because being able to grow like they grow there just wouldn't be possible here in Cheyenne. Still COVID, but kind of nearing the end of COVID. It was scary because, the grocery stores and everything had been like, it was like very iffy. So we weren't quite sure how our first season was going to go.
That's incredible. What is it about Palisade that makes it so good for growing peaches compared to here?
So there's a lot of different things that make Palisade kind of a unique spot. And the main driver for all of the richness of the produce that come out there, the really hot days and the cold nights. Like you can have a 50-degree swing between day and night there. So, you're up in the hundreds during the day, and sometimes you can drop down in the 50s at night. the big temperature swing is what drives the sugars so high in the fruit. Another thing is that it's at the opening of what would have been an ancient river, where it opened up. It goes through the canyon, and then when Palisade, as soon as you come into Palisade, it's the opening of a really big ancient river. So all of the soil there is very fertile, and just in that one spot right there, makes it to where your canyon winds, like if you're out in Grand Junction further, it's harder to, or on the other side of Palisade into Grand Junction, it's harder to grow some of that stuff because your wind settles down and it gets cold. The wind that comes out of that canyon stirs the frost and doesn't allow it to quite settle on the buds. So it keeps moving. And that's kind of just another thing that adds on to why it's such a unique place, because they call it the $1 million win.
My mother-in-law had opened a Nana's, so many years prior, so that she was really a huge help for us because she was able to navigate us through just everything, the ins and outs of it. She has so much help to us because if things that she's, haven't worked for her, she was able to relay that information to us and just guide us really. So I think that having her help made us feel a lot better about it.
The biggest thing was just the catch, and how are we going to catch people up here, and, we were just kind of jumping on faith that Palisade Peaches was a good enough hook to get people. And it was kind of like a personal thing to me because I was like, they're not selling the right stuff, or they're selling it for too much. And, I could bring better peaches over here and sell them for a better price. And that's what we did. And
we think is delicious, and to be a part of the community, it's just, I think that's what's really important as small businesses in general. You all have each other's back, and it's more than just the dollar, right?
When you feel like you're a part of a community, it really helps with the business. When your kids go to school with our customers' kids, and the teachers of the kids come in, and the guy that does the oil in my vehicle, it's just kind of a neat little community. And you kind of start making those connections with people and those relationships, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy the people here in Cheyenne. That's one thing I've been grateful for moving here. If you can put up with the wind, the people are nice, So
hey, they don't call them $1 million wins around here.
No, we do not.
Did it help you starting a business? Has that helped you? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that it's helped you connect with people in the community?
Yeah.
What were some of the obstacles that you had to overcome?
It seems like it's just not as cut and dry as, I'm gonna, go load my pickup up for, load a trailer up with produce and bring it up here. You've got all these new permits, and, we've got to have a zoning permit. And all the fees that go with that. And then, agriculture, of course, since we're bringing agriculture over state lines, that's a Wyoming thing. And they, so we have to be involved with the ag department, and then the city, the state, the county. And then just when you think you have it all done and taken care of, then the IRS steps on your door like that one time, and we didn't, it was just the state IRS, and, so we were like, oh my gosh, we didn't have any clue. And
how are you going to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
we
the
just
thing.
didn't.
We're ready, like gung ho, like let's put up this shed and we're gonna like, it's gonna be great.
Feels like a small little thing. This will be
Yes.
fun. Yeah.
And he started building the shed, and I'm like posting on Facebook and doing all these things like grand opening. This is the date that we're opening. And we were so excited, and we don't have a phone number or anything, a website or anything yet. And my mother-in-law gets a call from the city and she's like, you guys aren't opening. Like, you guys haven't done this, this, and this. And I told him like before, I'm like, I feel like we're missing something. But you don't know where to start, and from state to state, it's different, And so my mother-in-law calls us. She's like, you guys, like, they're calling. And so we had to run down there, and they're like, you have to pay for this. You have to buy this permit and this permit and this permit. And you guys got to get this done or you guys can't open. And
Which you've already set a day. You've already marketed, so you don't
Already paid rent.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
so we're
Yeah,
and it is hard. I mean, starting a business is risky. You invest your own money into, all of these things, and you just expect for it to just go smoothly, and it doesn't always work that way. And
Well, not just that, but agriculture is a big roll of the dice anyways, right? Because, going back to the freezing thing, or if a hailstorm comes through and you've got all your money dumped into, every year that we start, we have to invest money into it and then, gain it back over the season. And, if we come through and get wiped out by, Palisade loses, 80% of their peaches because of hailstorm, we're kind of
yeah.
in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Hey, you throw all your money at it, and there's nothing's coming back.
Yeah. And you never know how long of a season you're going to have. You don't know, like we open with cherries. We don't know if we're going to get cherries. It's just kind of one of those things that's like, okay, we hope and pray, and, things hopefully go the way they're supposed to go, right? But there's been times where we're expecting to have a longer season and it gets cut off on us early, and we're like, okay, that's it.
Literally.
It's done.
Over the last 4 years of it, it's just kind of become a part of it. And, so we kind of try to plan for the unknown and do the best we can to navigate it. But yeah, going back to all that stuff, it's definitely a juggling game every year, without a doubt.
So it's been challenging, but you made some friends in the process,
Yeah.
and now I know the ins and outs of city, state, and federal
Until
government.
next year.
Yeah, until next year.
Yes.
Until next year.
Thank you so much, Cody and Samantha. Such a cool interview. Really fun to really be able to be there. And you can't see me, but I was there, and just super cool to see your guys' dynamic and your go-gettedness and your time for family. I just thought that was really cool. Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that episode. Just working hard. Goodness, just working hard. That is that, and not losing your mind. That was just, I thought that was really cool. And then just being good at knowing when to go and knowing when to pause, and that's just really good. I feel like a lot of people really, it can be difficult to keep that balance so when do I go and when do I just kind of keep it cool? So I thought that was super cool. What do you think?
Yeah, well, just really fun just to meet both of them, and they're. I can perhaps be a little bit negative about the government's involvement in business. My personal opinions often come in, and I'm like, but they really navigated they dealt with it with a smile, lemons into lemonade. I don't know, and really they saw the good in it, because in their community there's just a lot of good people who were in government who were helping them, and so they found helpful people and dealt with the scary hard parts of the food regulations moving across state lines. They had to deal with that, and they had no idea, and they were willing to go into it and figured it out and found the right people. So part is the government, and then I suppose the other side is when it feels overwhelming, somebody probably knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Where are they? Who can you talk to? Make a phone call, as scary as it is, or hop into an office or something, and some friendly face, probably.
Most likely.
If they're not friendly, we can hope that we'll find someone else who is and figure it out.
Yeah.
So, really like that. Next week, we have Denise Patton on, and I'm just really excited for y'all to meet Denise. She is an artist, so completely different thing, but very similar in that she is taking her passions and her desires and just the skills that she has, and she's made a real business out of it, selling art. So that's always been a mystery to me. How do you actually just make money selling art? And she's great at it. Really, though, whether you're an artist or not, if you are an artist, definitely tune in or have that art side. But what's really cool is that she just has so many. I just went through her episode just a little bit. So many like little gems of wisdom on how to do business well and how to make it happen. And she also had to deal with mental health, like some of our other guests. So. How does she deal with? Just really helpful for all of us. But how to build a business from the ground up when you have no contacts. How to have mental health in the middle of that. In a perhaps difficult sector. So he probably wouldn't say that, but I'm impressed. So anyways, looking forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Until then, happy sailing.